No more Optimuses. I beg you.
What's happening, Cybertronians? I know it's been a while since I've posted a video, so I do apologize about that. But I figured that since how the reveal has finally come for the very highly anticipated and eagerly waited for Studio Series Commander class Optimus Prime has been released, I figured I'd do a video on all the Optimus Primes that I own right now. I will admit, over the years I have had a few more than what you see here. Unfortunately, I was young and stupid and didn't know to keep them, so we won't be able to review them. But I do have all these, which is substantial enough. And this video is going to be long enough as it is, going through each and every single one of these. Just so you know, some of these I have already reviewed, like the Masterpiece MP01 Prime, the Transformers Reactivate Prime. So for the figures that I have already reviewed, I will just skip through, well, not skip through, I will still show their transformation, but it will be sped up just to try and save as much time as possible. And for one or two of the other figures as well, I may or may not speed up the transformation, again, just to save time. All depends as to how this video goes. So before I continue, I know that right now I have Scourge and Nemesis Prime over here on the ends. I know they're not officially Optimus Prime, but the reason I have them here is because the Legacy Prime still uses that exact same mold, and the Siege Optimus Prime still uses that exact same mold. I don't have those figures. I do have these guys, so for that reason they're standing in for Optimus Prime. And I have a few, well, one or two very rare primes to go through. Obviously the very obvious one is the MP01, very hard to come by, and I'll get more into that when we get down to his part. And then this little guy over here, which was the hybrid style convoy Optimus Prime, and all of these are official as well. So without any further ado, let's clear these guys off and we'll get right down to the review. So starting things off, we have the hybrid style Commander Optimus Prime, and it is official. I believe this one could have been from Takara Tomy, or maybe a collab between Hasbro and Takara Tomy work ton. If I get that wrong, I apologize. But just very quickly now, just for the sake of this video as well, before I continue, I am going to go through these quick enough. It won't be a fully in-depth review on every single prime. It will just be a quick rundown of each one and what I have with them. Some of them I've had for years, so I will be missing a few accessories for some of them, and I'll get into more detail on that on each figure as I go along. But anyway, as I was saying, quick look here first at the Commander, this is where I have a brain fart, the hybrid style convoy Optimus Prime. And he is actually a very, very cool figure. One of the oldest Optimus Primes that I ever had. He's essentially a mini masterpiece. Now, to have a quick look at the detail, we'll have a look at everything here. So as you can see there, lovely silver on the truck. Now, as I said, he is old, so you can see like so here, the chrome is wearing away. I played with this guy a lot over the years. Chrome's wearing away a bit here, and yeah, he is a little bit dusty, so I apologize there. Nice Autobot symbol on the side, and on Prime's shoulder there as well. You have the Autobot symbol on both sides. Nice detail on the doors, which do open, and they have a nice little feature that when you go to a certain point, usually does work. Well, there's supposed to be a point that when the doors open, this button here is activated, and when that's pressed, the ramp pops out, and inside you do indeed have Roller, who is nicely detailed there in proper silver. His wheels do have that cool little feature there that when the front ones turn, so do the back ones. Moving up to the top, transparent red light there, which this piece does rotate around, so you can hold Prime's gun. Nice little touch there. Just put him off to the side. The trailer itself tabs on via this connection right here, this clip, which goes over this part of Prime's legs, and as you can see, he is a bit beat up. Battle damage, that's all it is. The trailer, now at the front of the trailer, you probably noticed this is Prime's jetpack. Just tabs in there via these tabs right here. We'll get more into that when we get him into robot mode. And one thing that I really do like about this trailer is that when you open it up, I'm going to show this from underneath. So yeah, when you open it up, if you watch the sides here, the support struts come out with it, which I thought that was a really nice touch there. Really enjoyed that. So inside the trailer, you have the gas pump, I guess you can call it, and that does tag onto Roller. You have Prime's iconic rifle right here, and of course, what's a Prime without this Energon axe? And then you also get the drone here, which is being blocked, sorry about that. You have the drone here, which does extend up quite nicely there. And actually, can you, yes, if I remember correctly, you are actually able to close up the trailer with the drone sticking out just like that, which was a nice touch, if I do say so myself. The drone does have its antenna there, and the antenna does spin quite freely actually. Does have its claw arm here, which does open and close, and as well as that, the cockpit section also opens up. Just take a quick look in there. Nice detail on that. Now I don't know why the cockpit section, my tongue really doesn't want to work today. I don't know why the cockpit section doesn't open up, because nothing can actually fit into it, but it's a feature there if you want to use it. And as well as that, you probably noticed when I was turning this around, he has handles here, so that when he's in battle station mode, Prime can hold onto these and use this as a gun turret, which I thought was very cool. But there's another thing inside of this trailer that I think goes so well, and it's in these compartments here. So if you actually open these up, you will see, if my camera will focus, there we go, additional hands for Prime in here and in here. So I'll show those off a bit more when we get Prime into his robot mode. So all in all, very nice features there, very cool indeed. I do highly enjoy this. And of course he does have his kickstand, well not kickstand, his trailer support right there. So when Prime doesn't have the trailer on his back, it can stay standing quite easily. Now, as I was saying, Roller is able to hold Prime's gun, and you leave the tab down like that, and it just tabs in right there, just like that, so he can roll around and shoot up Decepticons if he wants. And if he wants, you can also get his gas pump and just tab it into these holes right there, just like that. Now, moving on to the main event, we have, just bring the camera down a little bit there. We have the hybrid style Commander class focus camera, Optimus Prime, and this is actually a very, very cool little figure. So just a quick look at the details here. As you can see, there's some lovely molded in detail, and this guy is a lot, and I mean a lot of die cast. Like his legs are entirely die cast, solid pieces. Now the cab section is all plastic, but that's okay. So without further ado, we'll get down to transformation. So to transform this guy, it's a prime transformation. So you just start by pulling the legs forward like that, split the legs, and then you just want to rotate these wheels around like that and like that. Come around to the other side, flip his foot down, and there you have the lower legs all done. For the upper body, this is a little tricky, well, not tricky, finicky, because he's so small. And actually I didn't even do a proper comparison. So just to give you an idea of how small he is, before I continue any further, there's him in that cab mode compared to the MP01. So yeah, very, very small indeed. So continue on with the transformation. What you want to do is get your nail in here. Now you don't want to pull it out or force it out, because if you do, this piece with the silver on it, you will rip that off, and trust me, that's not a good thing. You just want to get your nail in there, and you'll see there is a little tab right there. Oh, get his arm out. So there you are, that tab. Don't know how well it's coming across on the camera, but that tab right there goes into slot just in there. Again, don't know how well you can see it. And as you can see, you just fold it down to fill out the forearm. Bring the arm out, extend it out, and that's one arm all done. You get this wheel here, just rotate it up just like that and leave it there for now. Rinse and repeat on the other side. So again, just getting your nail, try and do this on camera as well. Just get your nail in there, and this side likes to fight me, I don't know why. Now, sometimes it can help if you just put your finger here and pry it out like that. That can help, because it will stop this piece breaking off. So again, flip that down, exposing the hand, straighten the arm out, and that's the other arm all done. At this point now, oh, and also you want to rotate that wheel up into there just like that. Now, at this point, what you can do is just open up the chest like this. Now, these will flop around. This has always been like that. It's flop-tastic. Open this up, and you do have this section here is matrix chamber, which is very cool. And we will have to open this up anyway for transformation, so you will get to see he does indeed have a little matrix of leadership in there. Very nice touch, and that is removable as well. I'll get into that when we're in robot mode. So next, what you want to do is with the grill bit here, you take the front bumper, just rotate it back just like that. And you may have to move these out of the way just for clearance, or not. It's making a liar out of me, but you just rotate the front grille around, and I do like that. I actually very much like that, how there's no faux grille on him. The grill in truck mode is the grill on his abdomen, which I thought was very cool. Once you have rotated around, then you just bring this back down, close his chest back up, and there you are, the chest is all done. So now at this point, you can bring these back in, and you just rotate the chest up like that. Now, you may bring these back out again, but that's okay. Just push them back in, and then push it down. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Stupid me. I did make one major boo-boo. You don't leave the wheels like that. You bring them back, fold them in to make his sides, just like that. And then, providing he wants to cooperate, push his chest down like that. Then you come around to the back here, you have this panel here, so this has to be up for this step. You'll see why now in a sec. So when you bring this down, so as you can see, that panel has to be up so that you can actually bring this down. Flip his head out. You may have to be careful here. And of course he's stuck now. Why are you stuck? He's proper stuck there now. Oh, bear with me. There we go. Sorry about that. But at least this time his head does come up. And once his head is up, you just bring this panel up. And now you can flatten this panel here against his back. And that should hold it in place. So just bring his arms down to the sides. His head is floptastic. Straighten his arms out so that they're facing front. And there you have the hybrid style Commander Optimus Prime. And yeah, he just looks fantastic. He looks exactly like Optimus Prime. Now, in full disclosure, as I said, I have had this guy for a very long time. And yeah, one of his antennae broke. Just through moving him around and messing with him. And also this, as you can see, this one here is on the verge of breaking as well. He is a very old toy, but other than the antenna, solid figure, and I've loved this toy for a long time. So quickly going over articulation, his arms can do a 360, as can his head. They're both on ball joints, and because the head is on a ball joint, it can look up all the way. He does have full range of motion at the shoulders there. The smokestacks, for whatever reason, can actually move forwards. He does have elbow rotation, but no bicep rotation, but it's above the elbow, so it's okay. 90 degrees, or just about 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, and his fist is on a ball joint, so you do get full rotation of the fist, some forwards and backwards there as well. He does have 360 degree rotation at the waist because it's on a ball joint. Now, just to let you know, sometimes because it is a ball joint, it can be weak, so he does pop apart very quickly. But once you're gentle with him, that shouldn't be an issue. And as you see, it pops together very well. The legs can go forward that far, and as you can see, these panels here move with the leg. They can go back that far, and he gets only that far out for splits. He does have toy rotation, good range there actually. He has 90 degree bend at the knee, and he does have some ankle articulation, and due to transformation his foot can go all the way down, and it actually can go up quite a bit there as well. So you do get some great articulation with this guy, and for such a small figure, that much articulation is just insane. Now for his energon axe, to tab that in or to plug that in, it's actually very easy. As I said, his hands are on a ball joint, so you just pop the hands out and pop the energon axe in. Now, I'm not going to lie, it has always been this loose, but it doesn't come, it's not going to fall out anytime soon. So, oh, and just one more thing to be careful. Why is my tongue not working? To be careful of is these panels here that make up the headlights of his truck mode. They're just on a friction joint, and they can come off quite easily. No, it's not a big deal because they do snap on just as easily, but just to be careful there when you're manipulating and moving this guy around. As you've seen there, they do like to come off, so I find it's easier if you just hold him here at that elbow to bend his arm, and you shouldn't have any problems. For his blaster, now obviously he's not going to hold it like this. You just bring this peg forward, flips out the handle, and the blaster fits into his hand quite nicely. So he can take on the Decepticons and Megatron all day long. Now, just to go over some of the other hands that he has in his trailer. And just show these off very, very quickly. If I can get them out. There we go. So, as you've seen, these are the hands that he comes with. Now, these are tiny, tiny hands. This one, obviously, for holding his weapons. You have splayed out hands just like this, so he can make a dashing pose like he's trying to reach for something. You have this hand here, which is angled slightly forward. Why, I don't know, because he did not come with a sword, and this is the kind of pose that you'd expect him to have with a sword, but it's there all the same. And you also get a pair of these hands. Now, if you actually look closely, these hands have a notch cut out in them right there, and that is for a very, very specific reason. So I'll show you that right now. So as I was saying, during transformation, he does have his matrix of leadership. So when you open this up, now because this is so small, I do sometimes have to use a tool to get that matrix out. It's not in there like impossibly hard to get out. It's just impossibly small. This has to be the world's smallest matrix as I drop it onto the table. But just a quick look at the matrix there. As you can see, nicely detailed. Nice coloration on it. The blue jewel in the middle. So yeah, it's very nicely done. And this is made out of die cast as well. But as I was saying, he has a pair of these hands, and the notch in it is so he can actually hold his matrix, which I thought was very, very cool. So just put that right back in there. It's easier to put in than it is to get out, but that's okay with me. So all in all, this is a class figure. If you actually see this now, I know Dublin City Comics in the city centre has one of these on for sale right now, going for, I believe, about €120. I could be wrong with the price, but they do have one of these. So if you see it, I highly recommend you pick it up. And before I finish up on this part of the Prime review, as I said at the start, he also comes with his jetpack, which is a brilliant touch. I love this. And yes, he can actually wear the jetpack. So to put the jetpack on, we're just going to need to take his blaster out of his hand, just disconnect his energon axe. And to do this, you will have to get his arms out to the back, just like that. And you loop his arm through one. On the other side, loop the arm through the other. Just bring the arms down. Knock loose the panel that's keeping his head in place. That's not a step you should do. It's just something that's happening to me. And it will tab in to his back very securely. As you can see, like the straps aren't even on his shoulders, and it's on there. Just to finish off the look, bring the straps onto his chest, just give him back his energon axe. And you have him there with his jetpack, which I thought was pretty cool. Now he does, I don't have it here, unfortunately. Like I said, it is a very old figure. Actually, do I? Hold on. Next up, the very first Masterpiece Transformers ever released, and also the very first Masterpiece Transformer I ever owned. The G1 Optimus Prime. Now, in his truck modes, he looks just class. From the front, it's nearly like he's straight out of the telly. Like, what can you say about him that hasn't been said already? He is just amazing. He really is. Now, this guy is comprised of, majority of him is die cast. Does have rubber tires, He has spring-loaded stacks for some weird reason. I don't know why. And he rolls just so smoothly. This guy has been my favorite Prime for such a long time. Like MP10, I have never owned him, or MP44. Will I get them? MP44, I don't know. MP10, maybe. But this is going to be the one that I will keep forever. Now, I got this guy off of eBay, believe it or not, for €20. Yeah. As soon as I seen that, I was like, yeah, that's a no-brainer, picking him up. Now, he was incomplete and missing a couple of pieces. Like down here is pistons in the leg. There was a piston missing here. He was also, unfortunately, missing his matrix. Now, you won't see it here, not in this alt mode. But yeah, he was also missing his matrix and his ion blaster as well. But for €20, you can't really go wrong there. Now, I did do a review on this Prime before. So if you want to see the transformation in full, go check out that review. But for now, I'm just going to speed through the transformation for this guy, just to get him quickly into robot mode. So here we are, as I bump the camera, the masterpiece that started it all off. The 25th anniversary MP01 masterpiece Optimus Prime, and holy Christ, what can I say about this guy? This was my holy grail for Transformer figures for such a long time when this was first released. Back then it cost £250, or was it euro, whichever it was, and I wanted him so bad. So yes, as I said, I found him on eBay for €20. It was a no-brainer for me. Even to this day, I still love the figure. Now, my tongue really is fighting me today. Is this figure worth getting today? Yes and no, being honest. Yes, because it's the original masterpiece figure. Yes, because it is Optimus Prime, G1 Optimus Prime. Yes, because he is hefty. Like, I mean, there's so much die-cast in this figure. His legs are all die-cast. Chest, torso, die-cast. There's just so much on him that gives him legit weight. However, as you've seen there when I picked him up, he has not stood well the test of time. His joints are flop-tastic. Now, does that make him floppy when posing? No, his ratchets are still holding up supremely well. Like, have a listen to this. Where is the ratchet? Now his hips, yeah, we all know they're loose. You've seen it happen yourself. There is no ratchets in his shoulders, but there is for outward motion, just not forward motion. But listen to that. There are some figures out today that don't even have a ratchet that sounds that satisfying. But he is also packed full of features. Like, he has a button on the back of his head, right there, that when you press it, his mouth plate moves. So he can actually talk as well as your imagination would allow it. He does have on both arms communicators. So on this arm, you have Bumblebee, and nice detail in there as well. And on this arm, for some reason, he has Starscream. I just don't know how well you can see it there, but yeah, that's Starscream. Exact same detail on the outside of that forearm as well. As well as that, like, they are and also these vents, if you press on his feet or push him down on the table, they open up, which I thought was just such a nice feature. And obviously, as you've seen through transformation, he does have his matrix chamber. Now, unfortunately, the matrix was one of the things that I was missing when I got this guy, like he was secondhand. But the chest opens up there, and you can open the matrix chamber here. Now, with the matrix chamber, I didn't get any instructions with this guy, so I don't know what the official way to have this guy transformed for his matrix chamber. But you can rotate his bumper around and have it come down like that as his chamber fights me. So you could have it like that with some nice molded detail exposed there. But me personally, I don't quite like how that looks. So I leave it displayed like that, which I think just looks better. But as well as that, you probably noticed he has a blue switch right here on his shoulder. And the reason for that was because when his matrix is in there, that blue switch turned on the matrix. It had lights. It actually lit up, which I so wish I had the matrix so I could witness that. Articulation, aside from the mouth plate, his head can look up. If you use his transformation joint, he can look up quite far, but without it, he looks up that far, he can look down that far, and it is on a ball joint, so he gets a full 360 degrees. His arms can do full 360 degrees there. He does have bicep rotation and 90 degrees at the elbow. And also with the elbows, if you look here, some more of the features that they packed in, actual pistons that do move with the arm, which I thought was very, very nice. And oh yeah, this is how he looks from the back, so you can see how everything cleans up. And it does, it cleans up so nicely, so more detail exposed there. Now I'll get to these pistons in a minute. Around to the side, and just see what, as you can see, the pistons move so well with the arms as you're bending them. I just love that. His hands, they're not really on a ball joint, they're just on a more of a swivel or a hinge. But if you look in here, I don't know how well this is going to come across on the camera, but you can see just in there more pistons for his hand to simulate the articulation, which level of detail that they paid attention to on this guy is just phenomenal. His fingers are all individually articulated, but only at the base hinge, so this is as far as they open, and his thumb is on a ball joint, so you can get some good poses there. As you've seen from transformation, his waist used to be ratcheted, but over time that ratchet has just failed. Now, does that bother me? No, because when I have this guy in robot mode, I mostly leave him displayed. I don't twist and turn him around too much. He's getting too old now to be played with a lot. Legs, they can go forward that far on nice heavy ratchets in the hips, and the hip skirts move out of the way to accommodate that. They can go back that far, and again the hip skirts move out of the way. And he can do, now you will have to move this one yourself, but he can do the full splits. But as you can see, because he's both old and his lower legs weigh so much, they're not staying up at all. But like I said, it's mostly because he's such an old figure, but that doesn't bother me at all. I still love this guy. He does have high rotation, full 360 rotation, because how could you not have that? Knees, full range of knee bend there, and if you look at this, more detail is exposed, like more pistons here, pistons on the side. Now these pistons don't do anything. Oh, they do. Damn, it's the first time I've properly looked at that. I thought they were just molded in place, but yeah, if you actually pay attention, you'll see the pistons do actually articulate. Amazing detail there. And then that is just phenomenal. His feet are on the ball joint, so they can go down. They can't really go up, but they can go down, and you get some ankle pivots. But as his feet articulate, now you can't see it here because, like I said, when I got him second hand, he was missing this bit. But you can see here again, the pistons just move. That was chef's kiss for me. And also something I forgot to show off in vehicle mode is wheels are on suspension. There's actual springs in the back wheels, which again, attention to detail that they didn't need to go into, but they took out all the stops for this guy, and it shows. Now the only accessories I got with him with his floppy arm, stop it, was his Megatron gun. Now this is the one that I got with my Soundwave, but still the exact same size. The only difference between this Megatron gun and the one that came with Prime, this one has 2 hinges in the handle to make it that bit easier to actually for him to hold. So that was thoughtful of them. Whereas the original Megatron that came with him just went down like that. And yeah, we'll get into that now in a second. And his Energon-Axe. Now the way this works, I think, is pretty cool. It's actually a better way of doing it than the last Prime that I just reviewed. So you get his hand, just actually detail that's exposed from transformation. So much detail that they put into this guy, so much. And even more on the underside there. We just get his hand back into his arm like that, and you get the Energon-Axe like this. So these tabs and these tabs go into the arms here and here. Just tab it in like that. It tabs in quite securely, and there you have it, Prime with his Energon-Axe, and that just looks cool. And yet it can actually spin around if you wanted to. And now for Megatron to hold him, and this guy is really starting to show his age. He's starting to droop forward a bit now. I don't know if that's coming across on the camera, but anyway, to get Megatron into Prime's hand, you need to leave his thumb down. So get this out of the way. Need to, and yeah, you can see him leaning forward there. Like his ankles are starting to give on him, so I'm going to have to take real good care of this guy. He's probably becoming an OAP now. But to put Megatron into his hand, as you may notice, there's no tabs whatsoever, which means that there's no slots in the palm, unlike modern Masterpiece Transformers today. What you had to do with this guy, which with the Megatron that came with him didn't really work, you had to slide this handle down to increase its the grip area, I guess, and then you had to bend this piece down here. No, sorry, not there. It was the stock that bent, and I have this stock on now as I knock Megatron to pieces. And actually, before I put Megatron into Prime's hand, yes, you can actually separate all of these individual components to have Megatron in his base gun mode, which I thought was a lovely little touch there. But that's not how Megatron looks. Megatron looks like he would, Megatron should look like that. So yeah, with the one that came with this Prime, the stock bent down like that, the handle came down like that, and the way you put it in, if Prime will stay standing while I do this, was like that. So, and then he just got his thumb forwards, tightened his grip, and there you go, Prime holding Megatron. But what they done with this one, you know, with this Megatron, the one that came with Soundwave, they put an extra hinge on, so you could get this down and then get the stock bent up to make it look a bit more natural, which I thought was a very, very nice touch. So again, and this is one of my all-time favorite figures. He is getting old, he is starting to get loose, but I highly enjoyed this figure. I'm going to keep him in my collection for a very, very long time. But anyway, moving on to the next Prime. Next up, we have the Revenge of the Fallen Leader Class movie Optimus Prime. And this one is phenomenal. It is another fantastic figure, one that was so well done that they used the basis of this figure, or sorry, they used the engineering behind this figure as the basis for their movie masterpiece, Optimus Prime. That's how good this is. This is the ancestor to the movie masterpiece, Optimus Prime. And this was mainline. This is a leader class. And I think it's actually bigger than the movie masterpiece. He has a decent amount of heft. Now, there's no die cast in him at all. He's just all plastic. Unlike the last two figures that were a lot of die cast in them. But it's at this point now that the Optimus Prime figures started going towards just all plastic, which is okay. But quick look at the details here. So nice flame details on the back mudguards, flame decals on the roof, along the front of the truck, along the side there, very nice. Now, you probably noticed on the Masterpiece Prime and on this guy, yellowing plastic. This is not something that is only just started with recent toys. This is something that's been going on for a very, very long time, unfortunately. And I don't know if Hasbro's going to be able to ever fix this, but hopefully they can. But Hasbro, if you're listening, instead of leaving us with grey plastic, just paint it. Paint it silver, paint it white. Hell, even paint it grey if you're going to leave it grey. But don't leave it as just bare plastic. This keeps happening. So that's just my 2 cents on it. And if you watch my other reviews before, you know I'm actually going on a lot about yellowing plastic. Anyway, just having a look around. So you actually get to see some mechanical components inside the windshield there, and that's for a very specific reason. This was when Transformers was doing their, what did they call it? Automorph. And this guy does have some automorph in there. But yeah, there he is from the sides. There he is from the bottom. Like, you would not tell this thing turned into a robot. There's very little on here to scream this is a robot. There he is from the top. Like, even from the back, everything just cleans up so nicely in this alt mode. Trailer hitch right here. Now, I don't know if any trailer can actually go into that. Like, they even put a peg in here. So again, I don't know. But it's a fantastic figure. So, as I have paint flecks from Masterpiece all over my hand, sorry there. But for transformation, now actually before I do transformation, he does kind of roll. Now this is again an old toy, 15 years old, 10 years old. I'm not exactly sure, I can't remember offhand. But before I get into transformation, just a few quick comparisons. So here he is with the laser Optimus Prime mold from the Legacy line. I do think, it doesn't scale perfectly, but they do look well. You can kind of get where they got this design from. G2 done it first. Here he is with the Transformers Reactivate Optimus Prime. And here he is with the Transformers Earthrise Optimus Prime. Now, getting down to transformation. Oh, and before I continue, sorry. For anybody who's wondering why I haven't done a comparison to the other primes in robot mode yet, that's because I'm going to show them all off at the end of this video, so you get to see the different sizes between them all at the end. So at least you have that. And I know I had them in vehicle mode at the start, but at least this way you can get a bit more of an idea how they scale with each other in vehicle mode. But I'll go into more detail on their size comparisons in robot mode at the end. Anyway, as I was saying, for transformation on this guy, from what I've seen of reviews, it's actually very similar to the Masterpiece Movie Prime. Couple of differences from this to that. They like I said, this is the ancestor to the NPM Optimus Prime. So first thing you want to do is the front grille, just untab it. You have these two tabs right here that go into slots right there, and you want to just start manipulating this to bring the legs down. Now, these panels here, they are tabbed into the front part and underneath the door here. So to get them out, you just give it a good, make sure that everything's at the front and tabbed, and just give it a pull. It'll come apart just like that. So come around to the back and bring up these mud guards. It just folds up like that. Rinse and repeat on the other side. Just bring that up like that, and then start to slowly bring his legs down on a very, very stiff, even after all this time, very tight ratchet in his hips. So get his legs like that. Next, on this armature here, you want to bring that forward while at the same time bending this. Bring this forward while at the same time bending this up towards it, because this here is actually going to tab into that post and port right there. So let's bring that forward, rotate around on a very stiff joint after all this time. Now I'm not going to tab it in just yet, it's a little bit early. So once you get to here, come down here, split the legs, get these side pieces here, just rotate that up, bring that down and leave it there like that for now. Get his feet, open the toes out to the side, bring up the grill, bring that up against the back of his foot like that, and you have a foot all done. Rinse and repeat on the other side. Bring that up, just leave it there for now like that. Open up his toes, flip up the grill, flip up the foot, and straighten his foot out, and that's his legs almost done. Next, just raise the camera here so you can see what I'm doing. Next, you want to come to these panels here, just split them, open them up like that, and then rotate this entire roof section around. It's on a double hinge right here. Just rotate that around, leave it like that for now. So once that's out of the way, we can then complete the leg transformation. So you can see there the port and the post lining up, and you just snap that into place. And these parts, I'll get to these now in a minute, or at the, yeah, I'll get to them in a minute. They annoy me. For the wheels, you can see that there is a little notch right here that the wheel would just sink up into. So raise those out of the way, push the wheels on both sides up. And what isn't in the instructions is these panels here on the legs. Just one tiny little movement just to fill out the legs a bit more. Once you have that done, you have this tab here that goes into that port there. Just push that in on both sides. Get these parts of the legs. Now, I've never liked how that looks, so sometimes I just leave it up like that. Sometimes I do bring it back. The instructions say to bring it back, but display it any way you want. But for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna go with what the official instructions are. And then once that's done, you want to come around to the back, so just get these down out of the way for now. Untab the smokestacks from the side, bring them out just like that, and then you'll have this tab on both sides that will go into this slot right here. So just fold that up like that, rinse and repeat on the other side. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to line this up. And then what you want to do, as I readjust, you have, this is actually two separate panels here. So you have this port right there, or not port, sorry, this post right here. Just push that forward while untabbing the panel. Once you've done that, bring this back. You want to rotate this panel around as, sorry, rotating it the wrong way. The wrong way. You'd think I'd remember how to do this. I've done it often enough. No, yeah, I was right. You rotate it around this way because you will have this slot right here that will go onto this tab. If I didn't have my hand in the way, this tab right here. So rotate that around while you're also closing this panel. So there's a lot of things to do here in this, for this one step. It should just all tab together like that. And this panel on the back, you have this post or port right here that will go into that post right there. Just push that on, snap it into place, and you're done. So again, rinse and repeat on the other side. Push that post. Oh, be careful now, don't worry, it's an old toy, so its tolerances are not what they used to be, but that's actually the first time I've had that happen to me. But again, you have the slot right there, going onto the tab right there. So just rotate that around while rotating this in, continue to bring it down, tab everything into place, and you have his backpack all done. Now, what I do for this guy, now you're supposed to have these angled up like this, but you can already see the issue that I have. Sometimes it stays, sometimes it doesn't. What I do is I just angle them in and have them support each other like that, but that does increase his backpack something fierce, like that does stick out a good bit. But for transformation for now, it does keep him out of the way. So moving on to the front of his truck mode, you can already see his hands there. So what you do here is first go into these gas canisters, take a hold and pull them out just like that. Take a hold and pull that out. And then you just split right down the middle. You want to then take the gas canister and rotate it up slightly. It will bring this out further, don't worry, it's okay. And then you just take the front of the truck mode, bring it down, rotate it around, and then fold it up against the back of his arm. Rinse and repeat on the other side. Bring it around, fold it up. And before you bring his arms out, you want to take these sections here, the windshields, and just bring these up like that. Just bring them all the way back, just like that for now. And now we can finish his arms for transformation. So you can see how everything is oriented here. So what you want to do, and this can be a little bit tricky. I remember the first time I done this, I couldn't figure out what the hell I was doing, and I again had instructions with this guy. But what you want to do is you want to bring the arm out to the side just like that. There is, I don't know how well you can see it, but there is a hinge right there that as you bring the arm out, you want to bring it up. So like you have to bring the arm out to clear this piece right here, because otherwise it's just going to bang off of it. So bring the arm out, rotate that up and bring the arm forward again like that. You have this tab that will go into this clip right in there. So just bring that up, clip that into place, and then right here is a double hinge. Again, I don't know how well you can see that, but right there. So you just want to bring it back at the base of the hinge first, like that, and then this part of the arm, the red part, is going to go into this slot right here. So just bring that in, push that into place, and then straighten the arm out. You then, once you have the arm in place there, you have, well, these, they're going to flop around anyway. You have this piece right here, which you want to bring up just like that. Rotate at the shoulder, rotate at the bicep, and actually, let's see if I can show this off. In the bicep, just right here, where my finger is. Again, I don't know how well that's shown, but yeah, you can see there's a mechanical movement just from molded detail, but a very, very nice touch there. Anyway.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
Sorry about that. Siri decided to chime in. So once it's clipped in, you want to bring this down, get this gas canister and bring it up the rest of the way, and there you are, you have an arm all done. Well, kinda, I'll get to that in a second. So, rinse and repeat on the other side. Bring that up, clip it in, bring the arm around, tab that in, bring up that shoulder piece, rotate the shoulder, bring the arm down, bring up the canister. Now for this bit, the finish off his robot mode, kinda, again I'll get to that in a second. His head is on a very long double joint, as you can see here. So you want to bring his head forward like that, raise it up at the bottom here, while still bending his head forward, and then just snaps back into place there and snap forward there. So to finish off the look of his robot mode, you want to get these blue pieces, just flip them down like that, bring the chest forward, and you have this red tab. It's got kind of like a ball at the end there. It's to go into these slots in the side of his abdomen. Sounds easy, but it can be a bit difficult. And as you're doing that, this is where this kicks in. These gears will, as you're trying to get his stomach pegged in, as you see there, the automorph feature kicks in and that side window comes out. There we go, that's the easiest I've had tapping that in a long time. And then I'll show it on this side because it'll be easier. Underneath these shoulder panels, you have this hole and that tab. So you just push it down, tab it into place like that, and that completes his chest. So do the same on the other side, bring that up. Now, again, because this is old, I sometimes have to activate the automorph feature myself, but when this was brand new, that automorph feature just kicked in automatically and it was class. But this side now is the one that's fighting me. Come on, get in. It's because the camera's on, isn't it, Prime? I know you're camera shy, you don't want the people to see you. So the sooner you stop fighting me, the sooner you'll be off camera. Straighten up the smokestacks and just bring his arms down and bring down these wheels. And there you have the leader class, when leader classes actually used to be good. Revenge of the Fallen, Optimus Prime. Oh, this is, you can see why this was voted for the year that this was released, the best mainline Prime that was out there. It was just phenomenal. Now, just on his arms, what wasn't in the instructions, if you actually look here at the forearms, it looks like these panels are on a slider. It looks like they should slide up, but not only is it not in the instructions, but these proper, and I mean proper, bite me. There we go. But as well as that, they come up way too far onto his shoulder, so it limits the articulation big time and can get in the way. Now it does clean up down here a lot, like compared to that, but it just doesn't look right to me. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But for the sake of this video, might as well have consistency, so come on, there we go. Now, one last thing about this figure. This came with a gimmick, his Energon blades, which was activated by, where is it? This this button right here. So when you pressed this, and it's on both arms, as I hit the camera, when you pressed that, his Energon blades did spring out from behind these panels. Now, it was actually a nice little feature, but when I was a kid and I owned this, they annoyed me. Straight honesty, they annoyed the heart and soul out of me. They were annoying in transformation, they were annoying in robot modes. I just did not like them. So yeah, I ended up removing them from this figure, and I can already see a load of people now giving out stink to me in the comments for doing that. Now, he doesn't have any batteries in him now, but he does have a light and sound feature where, as he's about to fall, but if you bring this tab down and just push it like that, as you can see, it raises his head and chest. His lights lit up green instead of blue, and he said, "I am Optimus Prime," and that was it. And for these, so again, this is him. This is supposed to be how his backpack should look, but again, that keeps happening. So what I do, just for my own peace of mind, I just now leave these down. It looks slightly better, but I don't ever have them displayed like this. I have them displayed like that, so you don't really notice it that much. So a quick look at the details. So the head there, nice head sculpt without his mouth plate. Now I would have preferred it with the mouth plate, but it is what it is. The head, mostly because of his chest, can only go left and right, but also with the electronics within it, so you don't want to go 360 and tear the wires apart. His arms are on a nice ratchet and can do full 360 as he knocks things out of whack. They can go out that far. As you've seen earlier, he does have the bicep rotation with the automorph feature, the mechanical movements shown off in the bicep. His elbows, you do get 90 degrees of elbow bend. He does have wrist rotation, only wrist rotation. He doesn't really have, no, he doesn't have any waist rotation due to the way he transforms. His legs can go forward on a very heavy ratchet. That far. They can go back that far before all this stuff starts getting in the way. They can go out that far before obviously the wheels start getting in the way. That's seriously heavy ratchet. Knee, you get about 90 degrees of bend at the knee. Doesn't have any thigh rotation or rotation below the knee. His feet can go down all the way due to transformation. They can go up a little bit, and because they're on a ball joint, you do get some ankles pivot as well as foot rotation as well. So again, decently posable figure. It's not a bad figure in any way, and at the time when this was released, it was the most accurate, best mainline movie Prime that was out there, that was better than any other movie Prime that was on the market before and after. And he was also back when leader class figures were leader class figures. Like, just to give you a quick comparison, I know I said I won't do this, but screw it. Here he is next to the MP01, and they like leader class. Not what they're giving out today. Deluxe class with extra steps. Leader class. Anyway, moving on to the next Prime. Next up we have the Transformer Siege Optimus Prime. Now I know this is Nemesis Prime, but Nemesis Prime from Siege and Optimus Prime from Siege both have the exact same mold. So as I said at the start of the video, I don't own the Siege Prime, but I do have this guy, so might as well. And taking a very quick look at the details here. So obviously Decepticon logo on the shoulder instead of the Autobot logo. Nice blood red tinted plastic there, transparent plastic as well. Nice detail picked out on the inside there. Don't know how well you can see that, but it's very nice detail. Even the top of his roof, or wherever these are, clear plastic in there. He's got his Gatling gun headlights. Nice detail overall throughout the figure. So there he is from the top, the side, and the bottom. You can kind of see how things are going to work here. It's Optimus Prime, so lo and behold, there's his legs. He does roll fairly decently. Now, if you have something that's got a bit more grip on it other than a smooth table, he will roll quite nicely, but that's still not bad at all. I'm just taking a look at the back here. Now, again, just to show you what I'm talking about, you've seen this on 2 other primes already. Yellowing plastic. It's an ongoing issue. I've already said my bit on it, so I'm not going to annoy us with more ranting about it. So let's just get down to it. Transformation very quickly. So again, as this is the Siege Optimus Prime mold, the transformation is the exact same. Nemesis Prime in his robot mode, and again, yeah, I absolutely love this figure. I think it is fantastic. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I first seen this mold for the Siege Optimus Prime, I was against getting it. I didn't like how he had these pieces hanging off the back of his forearm. I thought that they could have done a better way to get rid of that, to clean it up. Obviously, I've seen the mold before. I've seen the cartoon, the Siege cartoon, but this is exactly how he looks in the cartoon for Nemesis Prime, and for the shape of his body, it's exactly how Optimus Prime looks. So I've heard people complain, like I did, about just see, so you can see a bit better there, about how that hung down underneath, and they were like, they did not like it. Like me, they just did not like it at all. But it is true and accurate to how he looked in the show. Even the backpack here is exactly how he appeared in the show. So how could I hate on that? You know, I'm a Transformers fan. I want accuracy, and yeah, they delivered with this. It is a great figure. Now, strange thing, I know I said I wasn't going to go on about yellow and plastic, but I have to mention this. You can see on the top here the yellow and plastic in the biceps, but his thighs, they're not yellowing at all. So I'm just wondering, did they do something different with the plastic here that this isn't yellowing, but up here and his biceps are? Just a thought. Anyway, down to articulation. So his head, now on my copy, his head is a little bit loose, but that's okay. Now, it's not going to flop around if I shake him about the place. But he can look up a little bit, he can look down a little bit. He does do a full 360. His arms can do a full 360. Elbow or shoulder can go out that far, and as you see, this piece does move out of the way. Now, it's not spring loaded, so you have to lower down yourself, but it does move out of the way to accommodate the arm movement. Very, very nice. He does get slightly over 90 degrees of elbow bend. He does have bicep rotation. He does have wrist rotation, 360 degrees actually. He doesn't have an opening wrist, but that's okay. He has waist rotation. You can do a full 360 there. His legs can go forward that far, so it's not very far. They can, as I hit the camera, they can go back that far before the backpack gets in the way, and he can do the full splits. He does have thigh swivel. He does have a knee swivel, so full rotation at the knee, and he does get a nice deep knee bend there. That's basically full range of motion at the knee. His feet, they can't move up or down. No, his toe can bend, but that's due to transformation, same as his heel, but again for transformation. But he does have ankle pivot there, and actually, yeah, that's the extent of the ankle pivot. So he is extremely posable. And the accessories that come with this Prime, the accessories that come with this, he only comes with two. He comes with his ion blaster, which is very reminiscent of the 1980s ion blaster, which I do like a lot. And he can hold that very well, very securely. Sorry, I said he comes with two accessories. He doesn't, he just has the one. Now, if you got this as the Netflix special edition box set, he does have other accessories there, where he will actually come with the same trailer as the Earthrise Prime, just painted in black. He will come with a couple of blast effects and a couple of Energon cubes as well, if I'm not mistaken. Or was that Megatron? One of, well, either way. And I believe he also came with a transforming sword called Gaia. It transformed into a bird. But either way, even just the base figure alone, still class, still an amazing figure. Definitely well worth getting. Is a supreme figure, regardless whether it is Nemesis Prime or Optimus Prime. Definitely one worthwhile adding to your collection. So moving on. Next up we have what for me right now is the definitive Optimus Prime, mainline Optimus Prime. This War for Cybertron Earthrise leader class Optimus Prime, and this figure has been everything that I've wanted in an Optimus Prime figure for years. It is just phenomenal. So just take a quick look at the trailer first. So you have nice details going down. You have nice molded detail here. Throwback to the 80s. I'm not a big fan of this. Now we'll get into that a bit later on. Now he is missing obviously the struts under here to keep the trailer up, but instead he does have those two legs there. The trailer itself does open, and on the inside I have his blaster, which you can keep either in the trailer there if you wish, or if you wish you can fold it up like that, and you can put it in either of these peg holes here and just hold the blaster underneath like that, which I thought was a very nice option there. But the trailer itself, there's not much to talk about here. You'd have the ramp there, the drone here, which can extend up, and this time has two arms. Don't know why. That looks like Johnny 5. Anybody who's seen Short Circuit, anybody who's seen Short Circuit knows who Johnny 5 is, and that looks just like him. This can rotate all the way around. Bit of hollowness there, but that's the way figures are going out today, isn't it? These arms are on a ball joint, so you can get a full 360, and they can they go out? Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed. Yeah, they can go out a good bit there, just like that. And as well as that, this piece can separate. So if you wanted, you could plug this onto the back of Optimus Prime. Now, I'm not able to do that anymore. I'll go into details why when I get him into robot mode, but it's still something that you can do if you want to do it. Sorry, Emgo, I don't mean to be robbing your lines there. But that's basically the trailer there. Now, there is a lot of nice detail molded in here and several ports, as you can see, so you can store a plethora of different weapons within him. I wish he came with a roller, but it is what it is. I'm really not trying to steal your lines, Emgo. I'm not. So just put that off to the side. Ion blaster as well. And the main show himself, Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. Freedom is the right of all living beings. So just taking a look there, lovely, lovely detail. I like the cell blue that they used on his windshields here. Just all around nice detail. Now I do have one tiny issue with this figure, and you can probably see it there. The cab, it's leaning forward. Like, there is two tabs right here, one there and one there. That's supposed to tab into these ports that are underneath his elbows. And as you can see, they do go on, but as soon as I let go, they lift up, and over time, it just ends up at that angle. It's supposed to sit like that, but it sits up. I don't know why. So what I do sometimes is I just leave those panels folded up onto his knees, just so that this sits flush. But getting down to transformation, first thing to do, guys, gas tanks, just fold them into the ties, click them in, and then you come around to the front, open up this panel here at the front, open up this panel and this panel here, rinse and repeat on the other side. So open up those two panels and you're good to go. Once you have them opened, you can then bring his legs down like so, and that will in turn push his arms out a bit, so you can just angle those back. So coming down to the legs, fold down those kneecaps, separate the legs there. That did not sound good. Did anything break? No, thank God. Flip out his toe, flip out his heel, rinse and repeat. That's his legs all done. So for the front, what you want to do here, actually need to raise the camera up a bit more again. So for the front, what you want to do here is just lift all that up like that, angle all this forward, and then just flip all those panels in just like that. Leave that there for now. Bring his arms back and then rotate the entire upper torso. Not yet, actually, not yet. Sorry. Bring the arms out. Before you rotate his torso, you do need his head out of the way. Now for his head, as you can see, I actually have an upgrade part on this Prime. I'll talk about this in a second. So you, without the upgrade part, this panel here you want to bring down, so you can flip his head up. And once the head is flipped up, just close that up again. Now, because his head is out of the way, you can rotate his upper body around like that. With his upper body rotated, so this is where now this does add a bit of extra transformation steps in. So with these, you just bring these out to the sides. So when it's in truck mode, this actually fills out the back of the truck, so you don't have a hollow gap in between his arms. And then for robot mode, just get the arms out of the way. You bring this around like that. There we go. You want to fold it down against the side of his body, just like that, and then get this piece, bring that up. Same on the other side. Rotate around, bring it up, and that gives you your classic Optimus Prime backpack. Once that's done, if you have this bit, if you don't worry about that. Just get these side pieces and flip them out to the side, which you can then rotate this up, flip the wheels in, and that's the back done. Coming around to the front, you want to get this front grille, just get a little tug, it will snap out of place, and rotate it around so that it's on the inside like that. and then get this whole chest piece and just rotate that around so that sits like that, and it fills out the chest, the interior of the chest, very, very nicely there, just so you can see what's going on. So it goes from there, around like that, in like that, and then you just bring it down and tap it into place right there. Straighten out his arms, rotate the bicep, straighten out his arm, rotate the bicep, and then for his fists, just come to this panel here, open that up, flip out his hand, close that up, rinse and repeat on the other side. And there you have Earthrise Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And come on, what is not to like about this guy? He just screams, I mean screams, G1 Optimus Prime. He is just amazing, absolutely amazing. So going over articulation very quickly. Actually, before we do, just take a quick look at that head sculpt. Like, how could anybody not like this figure? That just looks amazing. The detail that they've done on this guy is beyond anything that they've done so far. That is until the Studio Series Prime. Now, I know not a lot of people aren't too keen about this, but if you don't plan on transforming them back into vehicle mode, it's on a C-clip right here, just going across that bar, so you can actually just, if you so wish, pop that off and you'll have a clean backpack. You won't have any tires on his back whatsoever. And for me, this just finishes off his backpack. I can't remember who done this. The only thing I wish is that, now I don't know how well it's coming across on the camera, but you can see the color matching is not the best. It is what it is, but I'm still happy with it. So as I was saying, for articulation, his head is on a ball joint. I think it is. I think it is on a ball joint. So he can look up that far, down that far. You do get a full 360 degree rotation. His arms do rotate full 360 degrees. They can go out that far. Does have bicep swivel, and he has 90 degrees bend at the elbow. His fists can rotate a full 360, and his hands can open as well. He has articulated hands, which is amazing. I just completely love that. Now, he does have rotation at the waist, but again, this piece gets in the way. So two options. Again, you can, as I keep bumping that camera, if I'm not getting tongue tied, I'm bumping the camera. If you want, you could just rotate this piece down so that he has full waist rotation, or again, you could just use that C-clip and take it off. But even with that there, he still gets some decent side-to-side rotation there, more than what you'd need. The legs, they can go forward that far, they can go back that far before this gets in the way, but again, take it off if you want more range of motion. And they can go out to do the full splits. He does have thigh rotation, so you can do a full 360 there if that serves any purpose for you. And he does have, again, a nice deep knee bend there, like full motion there basically. And just like Nemesis Prime or the Siege Prime, the toes and his feet can't go up or down, but his toe and heel can, and about that much of ankle movement. So with his accessories, what he comes with, one of them you've already seen. He has his ion blaster. So as you've seen, I had it in the trailer originally like that. You just fold it out. Now, just very quickly, for some reason, they molded in a hole right here. Why? I'm guessing it's for this, but just have a different hinge on it. But anyway, you fold it out like that, and very reminiscent of his G1 blaster, and he can hold that quite securely. It's not going to fall out at all. And another thing that he has, which I'm surprised that more primes don't have right now, He does have his matrix of leadership, and yes, it can be removed, and a lot easier than the hybrid primes one. So just take a quick look there. Transparent plastic for the blue jewel, 5mm port on the back, so yes, it is bluish compatible, made entirely out of plastic, and this is the same size matrix that they use in nearly all their primes going this far going forward from him, but still pretty nicely done, and really cool that they included that. So with this prime, I know the Siege Optimus Prime is coming out soon, so is this guy worth getting? Hell yeah. Even if I got the Studio Series Prime first, I would still get this guy, because he's just phenomenal. He's one of my favorite, if not right now my favorite prime, hands down. So with that said, moving on. Okay, so next up we have what should be the Legacy Laser Optimus Prime, but like I said at the start of the video, because I never got the Legacy version of this mold, I only have this guy. Because they share the same mold, it counts. Now I know this video has already gone on quite a bit, so we'll get through these in the next few as quick as possible. So firstly, for rolling, he does kind of roll on my copy anyway, but not too great. As you can see, not all the wheels are locking and turning. Now that could just be because of my table, granted. It's like when I bring it up, they do spin fairly free. But quick look at the detail, going with the trailer first. Nice amount of detail there, ports at the back. Winch here, I believe. Nice detail, nice coloration on the silver going along here. Really nice detail on the trailer, or the tanker to be more precise, all around. Do very much like it. And of course he does have, oh, don't want to shut off too early. It means for the trailer to stand. And for the truck itself, everything that you come to expect. Now yes, this is the Nemesis Prime or Scourge coloration, but still looks fantastic, absolutely amazing. I do love this. And there it is from the bottom, so you will see things from other figures that are recognizable from the top, from the front. So again, down the where my tongue stops working, getting down the transformation quickly. We're going to go with the trailer first. So the trailer itself is actually pretty straightforward. So what I do, going to the front here first, just bring that up. Now, just a very quick note, you can do this with the trailer stand sticking out or folded up. So you bring the trailer, or the front of the trailer out like that, stand it up, and then just crack the sides open like so. Bring this ramp down. I'll just bring the camera down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Then this part here, you want to fold this forward. As you're doing that, just rotate this around like so. It's on a ball joint, so you'll be able to do that no problem. Just keep bringing it down, fold it up, and then this bit here, just fold that back to get the gun turret. And for this part, you can have this just sticking out like that, ready to grab at any enemy bots that comes its way. Now with a quick look at the trailer there, so detail wise it's everything that you've seen before, just in a different configuration, except now on the inside, firstly you'll see he has his weapons, sword and his axe. We'll get more on that now in a second. Nice detail on the inside, and it's the exact same over this side here as well. And there's a bottom. Now just a quick note, if you wish, this piece is detachable. What possible purpose that would serve for you, I don't know, but it is something you can do if you want to do it. And with this piece, this one is completely detachable. That does have a purpose, which we will get more into now in a moment. So just put that back on like that, put this off to the side, and bring in Scourge, or as I do call him, Nemesis Prime, because it is Nemesis Prime. I know it's not mentioned or called Nemesis Prime in the cartoon. He's called Scourge, but every single Nemesis Prime has this exact color scheme. Anyway, I digress. So, getting quickly onto transformation, first thing I do is just get his gas tanks, fold them into the thighs like that. Then I come around to the side and just unpeg these panels from the side. They will help free things up in just a moment. Then moving to the legs, just bend the legs down like that and get these knee pads, swing them down just like that, exactly like on the Earthrise Optimus Prime. Split the legs, open the toe, open the heel, and you have the legs pretty much all done. Now, what I do here at this point, coming to the back part of the cab, just bring these out just like that, and then I grab the actual canopy of the cab, lift it up just like that, which will give you some clearance but not a lot. You'll see what I mean here. To get the arms out, you can see that things will collide a bit, but we'll get more to that when it comes to it. Once you have the canopy lifted up, come around here and split these parts, bring them all the way out to the side just like that. Then you want to swing the entire chest piece down and around, which can be a little finicky, especially when doing it at arm's length. There we go, just like that. Get his faux grill, snap that into place, leave it there just like that for now. So, straightening the legs out, you want to bring this piece here down as far as it will go, but not too far, not just yet. Now we come to the arms. Actually, before we bring the arms out, this panel here, you want to lift this up, flip it around like that, which will reveal his head. And now we come to the arms, and this is where the clearance issues I was talking about come in with. You can see it right here. As soon as the arm gets to a certain point, it just collides with this piece straight away. Anyway, bring the arms out, just enough to clear it like that. Bring these side panels up, just like that. You can then get his, oh, and you have these tabs here. Don't know how well you can see them, but those tabs are going to go in just under here. That will help keep everything in place. And you bring the chest down. Make sure to give it a good solid, well, not solid, you don't want to break it, but just bring down enough to where you feel a tube. And once you do, bring it down like that, get his chest piece, and you'll have this notch here, which is going to go right in there as you look up under his feet. But just bring that down, and that will soft tube into place, nice and secure. Now you can just continue to bring the arms around all the way. Get his massive 80s shoulder pads oriented. And on the inside of the canopy, right here, you see this grey piece? This actually folds down. It is a little hard to do, so you will need a bit of a nail to do that. Then you get the cab folded right back to where it was, and you see those grey pieces, if you can actually see it. There we go. Those grey pieces actually fill in the gaps that would have been left here otherwise. So coming on to the final touches, you just swing the waist around 360, spin the arms around 360, which will actually line them up. You can see here when they're faced backwards, they are off center, but when you turn it around, they line up just the way they're meant to. Open up his forearm, just like that. His fist is on a ball joint, so flip the fist out, close that up, and rinse and repeat on the other side. And there you have the Legacy Gen 2 Laser Optimus Prime, or in this case, his evil clone Scourge in robot mode. And yeah, I think this figure is actually phenomenal, brilliant. Love the detail on him. He does come with his own version of the Matrix. Now this Matrix, if I can get it out, is slightly different. I'll just touch on this very quickly. Get out as I drop it. But this Matrix, if my camera will focus, as you can see, it is very, very flat. So they did remold it. It is a brand new mold made specifically for this figure, and it does tab in quite securely. But it just means that if you own the Earthrise Optimus Prime, his Matrix will not work with this figure or this mold. And as for his other accessories, which you've seen earlier, you have his sword done in that transparent purple plastic. Now, just on the sword, and I think on the axe as well, if you look at the handle, there's this nub right here, which prevents you putting the sword in any way you want. If you actually look at his hands, they are molded open, which means that you have to put the sword in a specific way. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. And then you have his axe, which opens up just like that. Now this one can be put in any way you want. As you can see, there is no knob on the handle. But one thing that you can do, or two things you can do actually. One is that this can be used as, I suppose, well, aside from the obvious, the actual axe, I think this has the ability to be used as a shield. I do remember seeing pictures of that. I just can't figure out for the life of me how he done it. I could be mistaken there, chances are I am, but what I know for a fact you can do, if I can just get his sword out of his hand, you can combine the two together. So flip down the handle just like that, get the sword, again having this notch facing out because you have this cut out here. Join the two together, and there you have his sword axe sword. And that looks like it would do damage. And as I said, because there's no knob on the handle, you can put that in any way you want, but that just looks savage. Now quickly go into articulation, because again, I know how long this video is already. The head is on a ball joint, so you get up and down and bobblehead. Does do a full 360. Shoulder pads are locked with the exception of going out, and when you lift this up, going down all the way like that, if that serves any purpose for you. But when you lift it up, his shoulders themselves have a full range of motion, so you can do a full 360 on a soft ratchet out that far. Elbows can get 90-degree bend there. His fists are on a swivel, well, sorry, a ball joint, as I said, but when he's in robot mode, he only can get the swivel on it. As you've seen earlier, he has a full 360-degree waist rotation, and his legs can go forward and that far, can go back and that far, so good range of motion there. And of course, knee bend over 90 degrees of bend at the knee. His toes, because of transformation, can go down, they can't go up, same with the heel. And he gets that much level of ankle tiltage. So good range of motion there for the figure itself. So all in all, pretty decent figure. I definitely recommend, whether it is the Scourge mold or the actual Laser Optimus Prime mold, to pick this up. So moving on. Wait, sorry, as I said, I was going to show off how this blaster on the trailer worked for Optimus Prime. So you have that knob there. So you can literally give it to him as a handheld weapon, and there he is with his blaster. Sorry, I did actually completely forget that. Now we're moving on. Next up we have our Transformers Reactivate Optimus Prime, and I've already done a review on this guy, so when it gets to the actual transformation I'm just going to fast forward over that, but I will go into a bit more detail. Sorry, Dusty. I will go into a little bit more detail on the actual figure itself. So with the way that he looks, he is very evocative of G1 Optimus Prime. Like, he has that flat-nosed cab-over truck with elements of other primes that came before him. Like, for example, don't know if you would call this an IDW inspired or Generations inspired, but he has that wind vane, or what looks like a wind vane to me anyway, on top. The curved smokestacks at the back there, to me, are evocative of his live action movie counterparts. Very Mad Max looking bumper here at the front. Like, that looks like it would do damage if this was a real life truck, with nice weathering effect done on it there. Very nicely done. Definitely looks like he's rammed more than his fair share of Decepticons and just scuffed this up to bits. Going to the sides now, the weathering effect is literally just here. There is no weathering effect anywhere else. So here is all pristine, here's pristine all the side, which, to be honest, if you're going to do weathering effects like this, have it everywhere, because you're trying to make it look like this guy has been through hell and back. And just having it on the front and only here, like not even up here on the grill, to me personally, I would have had it anywhere that you possibly could have. But anyway, doesn't take away from the fact that this figure, even in truck mode, just looks amazing. So some nice silver details here for these vents. No trailer hitch though, so this is one of the few primes I'm aware of that has zero trailer hitch, especially when he has a truck mode. At the bottom there, so you can of course see the faux grille, but here's the thing. If you actually look at this, that grille is painted silver. This one is just grey plastic. Why couldn't they have painted that, or just left that the same colour as this? That one now, I don't understand that choice, but it is what it is. And the back here, now there is gaps here. Gaps at the back, especially small ones like this, don't bother me too much, for the simple reason that, like MGO, I don't have my figures displayed on a shelf facing backwards, regardless whether they're in alt mode or robot mode. So this doesn't bother me too much, especially when it serves an actual feature, which is in the transformation. So if you want to see more on the transformation itself, feel free to check out the video that I've posted. But in the meantime, let's get this bad boy down to robot modes. And there you have the Transformers Reactivate Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And I have to say, this guy looks absolutely amazing. This is what I personally think the very first Michael Bay Transformers Optimus Prime should have looked like. Like, I mean, look at that head sculpt there. I'm just trying to get the camera to focus. Look at that head sculpt there. That is looking like it's straight out of a live action film, while still holding true to the G1 aesthetic, but bringing it up to date. Like, all that's, now there is a lot of detail on it that is brilliant, but if you notice, it goes from silver to grey plastic to silver to grey plastic to silver. Again, silver, grey plastic. Why they could not have just had this all either grey plastic or all silver rather than the two, I don't know. Decisions were made and that was one of them. The backpack, very nice and clean. The transformation itself, I'm not going to lie, and full disclosure, I had to stop recording during transformation because it's been a while since I transformed this guy and I kind of forgot. It is a bit of a, not a complex transformation. It is a very finicky transformation where there's certain points of it that has to be done in a certain order of operations. If you don't do it in that order, yes, you can still transform it, but you end up having a major fiddle factor on your hands. So there is a certain order of operations to his transformation that will make it as smooth as possible once you stick to that order. If you go outside of it, you're just giving yourself more work. But all in all, this guy just ended up being amazing. The only thing I don't like about the figure itself, the actual robot mode, is the chest. Mainly the fact that the chest doesn't tab in anywhere. It is held in place solely by his abdomen, which, as far as I can tell, I have tabbed in as tightly as possible, but it doesn't do that good a job at holding his chest into place. But that is a minor nitpick. The other one is to do with his blaster. Now, as you can see with this here, that nub is very small. Like this one here looks like it's a lot bigger. There we go. That one there. That looks like it's a lot bigger than that one. Which means that when you go to give him his blaster, well, yes, he can hold it. And it's not going to follow straight away. Unless you do the shake test. So there is not enough handle there. And you can even see it there. It's jumping around as I move the figure around. But you can see why here. Literally only half the blaster or half the handle is in his fist. The rest, because of the way the forearms are molded, it stops the blaster from going down all the way into his hand. Add to that the hole in his hand. It would help if you could see it. The hole in his hand. It's just that little bit too big. And yeah, it's the same on this side. Now this side, I'm not going to lie, this side has a little bit of a tighter grip, but again, still not much. And I know I was talking about this tab, so let's try. Nope, he can't even hold that. So yeah, the gun was a little bit of a letdown just because of how loose and how easily knocked out of his hand it is. But that is not a major killing issue for me. It's not going to turn me off of this figure whatsoever. And I know I showed this off in the actual review. Why can't I talk? I know I showed this off in the actual review of this guy. But yeah, he does indeed have a matrix. And you can take it out. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this matrix could be the exact same mold that came with Earthrise, Optimus Prime, Galvatron, Rodimus, Ultra Magnus. I think this is the same one. And I can understand why they're sticking with that mold. It works and it looks exactly like the Matrix. There's no need to update it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, would I recommend getting this figure? As a 2-pack, I don't know. Because the Soundwave figure, which I've done a review on in the past, that comes with this Prime, was not that good. He was a shell former, complete and total shell former. Optimus, however, amazing figure, just absolutely brilliant. An excellent update on the classic G1 look that sticks true to the G1 look while bringing it to a more modern aesthetic as well. If you ever see this figure by itself, yes, 1,000,000% pick it up. Do not even hesitate or think about it. Pick it up. If you see it in the 2-pack and you're willing to live with one Transformer and one absolutely amazing one, pick it up. Either way, I'm glad I got the 2-pack because I got him. So moving on. For our next Optimus Prime, we have the Studio Series Gamer Edition Optimus Prime from War for Cybertron. And I have to admit, I played the game and I thought it was a fantastic game. It was one of my favorite Transformer games. So if Reactivate ever comes out, it has a high standards, in my opinion, to be judged against. But War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, 2 amazing games. And this is an amazing figure. Not without its flaws, but still an amazing figure. Like, it is a nice, big, solid figure. And just to give you an idea of its size, I'm running out of Prime figures here. Here he is with the Legacy Animated Universe Optimus Prime. So, as you can see, he's actually, now I know you can't see it too well, but he is a bit, this guy is a bit shorter. Hold on. There you go, you can see it better there now. Comes out just by a nose, but actually, hold on, there we go. You can see better there now, just how big he is. And actually, just because, here he is with the Legacy Armada Optimus Prime, just the truck, and Armada Prime with the trailer. And again, massive size difference there with the trailer, but without the trailer, very close in size. So I'll get rid of him. Now, I said this before already, I know I'm not doing comparisons in robot mode. I'm saving that for the end of the video. And it will be a full comparison with all of them side by side. But just to get a quick look on the vehicle mode here. So again, it's not without its flaws. So one of them straight away being the red here. It's a complete different color from this red to that red, as you can see there. At the top, you can, well, one issue that people have had, massive gap right there, but also right here. Now there is upgrade kits released that will fill all this in, and a major problem this figure has as well, which we'll get in the second. So eventually I will get them. Here he is from the front, from the bottom, so you can see pretty much how everything's going to work there. And yeah, that massive hollow gap. Now again, I don't display my figures in any of their modes facing the wall, so this isn't going to be an issue to me, but I can understand completely why for a lot of people it is. But with that said, it's still a solid figure. Like, it has a good bit of weight. I won't say it's like hefty, but it has a good bit of weight. Like, this feels like it is just built solid. But anyway, getting down to transformation, first thing to do is just come to these side panels here and untap them like that. Just bring it down, not all the way, and bring the smokestack down. Do the same thing on the other side. Now, these can sometimes be tapped in pretty securely, so bring that down just like that. Next thing is just get this panel, bring that back just there like that for now, and then while getting your fingers on his fists, just untab the arms from the insides of the legs, and then just rotate them up at the hinge just like that to get them out of the way. Come to the arms, separate them, bring the arms all the way out to the side, just like that. Now you can just bring the legs back down, fold these wheels all the way in, and then bring these panels the rest of the way down. And before you get these panels down, get these feet here. I actually find it helps more if you actually just separate the legs now, because you can grab the foot from either side and then just bring those panels down just like that. Now, another point of contention with this figure is that these panels don't really tab in, they just sit there. There's nowhere really for them to tab in, so that is something else that I wish they changed, but it doesn't affect my enjoyment of this figure. And apologies if you're hearing banging in the background, apparently my neighbours are doing some improvements. So anyway, come to the front of the truck mode, just pull the sides apart just like that, which will release this tab from that notch in there. Then you get the front of the cab, just bring it back like that, showing off his head here. And then you just get the whole front section, and on this hinge, which is right in there, I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but there's a hinge right in there. Just rotate all this forward like that. So coming down to the home stretch now, so rotate these front sections of the truck around like that, so that you have these grey pieces facing forward with this detail here as well. And then just before you actually bring them in, you want to come around to the back, fold, but why am I getting this so wrong? So you'll notice that there is actually a mushroom peg here. So you want to rotate around the waist first. No. Yes. I'm a professional people. I know what I'm doing. Rotate the waist around so that he is oriented completely the right way. Then you want to rotate this part around just like that. Bring it up against his back and then bring this part down just like that. Push it all up as far as it will go, and now you bring in these parts right here, finishing them off just like that. So orient the arms so that they are by his side, and there you have Studio Series Gamer Edition Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And again, he looks like he just jumped right out of the game and into your living room. Quick look at the detail. So look at the head sculpt there. Very, very good head sculpt. Now I will admit the head sculpt is very small for the size of his body, but I can live with that. It's not a killer for me. Nice detail on the chest windows. That red paint apps there on his hips was supposed to give that look of energon, but you can notice here the paint is a little bit sloppy at the sides. Silver detailing shown off in his shins. Come around to the back. Now he does have a lot of kibble, but that's the way this mold went. That is pretty much how he looked in the game as well, so I can forgive that. All in all, very, very nice figure. So moving on to articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so you get a good range of motion there. And actually, just on a very, very quick note, his eyes there are very nicely done. They are painted in blue, I believe, but they're done in such a way where it's so reflective. I'm not sure if it's paint or if it's chrome, but very nicely done. And even on his mouth plate there, the detail that they have is actually phenomenal, especially considering how small of a head sculpt he has. Oh, going back to articulation, his head can do a full 360. His arms can do a full 360. They can go out that far. Bicep swivel, and he has just over 90 degrees of bend at the knee. As you've seen in transformation, he does have a full waist rotation, but on my copy this waist is fairly loose. Not detrimental loose, but still you give it a good knock and it will move. His hips can go forward on a stiff joint that far. Get his arm out of the way. And they can go back only that far. They can go out, if you move things out of the way, there you go, that far. He does have thigh rotation and 90 degree, just under 90 degree bend at the knee, mostly because of all this. And for feet articulation, his feet can go down ever so slightly, and ankle tiltage that much. So very decently posable figure there, and you can get him into some really good poses. Now for accessories, the first one that he comes with is of course his battle axe, or his energon axe, which comes in 2 parts. And you have, well actually it comes in 3 parts. This, and this with a nub on the end for some reason, I don't know why. But they all peg together just like that, and the axe itself can actually open up to create the double-edged blade. And he can of course hold it in his hand, so if you want he could hold it like that. You could hold it, God, that bang is really getting going, isn't it? You can hold it with just the single axe there like that, or if you wish, now it's doable, it's finicky, but it's doable. You can give him the double holding the axe blade with 2 hands, just like that, which is pretty cool. I do like that. And of course, what is an Optimus Prime without his blaster? And the blaster itself is actually pretty good, pretty decent, and it is Bluetooth compatible, which is always good. And to use the blaster, you have to rip him apart, literally. So you take his arm off, and there is a port on the inside of the blaster right there that will go onto that peg right there. So to mimic him transforming his arm into the blaster like he did in the video game. So yeah, that is a very nice feature of this line, I think. Now I've seen it done with the likes of Bumblebee and Megatron, and yeah, it didn't work with them so much, mainly because their weapons were so small. So they should have gotten a different, well, Bumblebee's weapon was so small, so maybe they should have, instead of have the arm on Bumblebee disconnect at the shoulder, maybe disconnect at the fist or the forearm to make it a bit more proportional. But either way, oh, and the weapons are also interchangeable. But the blaster for this guy works so well. Now, I did forget to show off, but you can store this and the axe in vehicle mode as well. Sorry about that. But anyway, oh, and before I move on, if you want, the forearm here can be stored while he is wielding his weapon in a very unfortunate place. Literally, right there. There is a peg right here on his forearm that goes into that hole right there on his hole. Now, from the front, you can't really notice, but yeah, it's an unfortunate placement for that, to say the least. But anyway, nearing the end, there's only 1, 2, 3 figures left to go, so let's get to it, shall we? Moving right along, we now have the Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime, and not Studio Series. This is just their main, this is just their mainline figure. But honestly, this compared to the Studio Series, they both have their good and bad points. I think this has the better truck mode. In my opinion, I think this has a better truck mode than the Studio Series one, mainly because of all the junk that does be sitting right here on the Studio Series that widens out the base of the truck mode ridiculous amounts. Stuff that could have easily just been engineered to fold away, and they didn't. So I think this guy has a cleaner looking truck modes, in my opinion. So going quickly over the details there. Now, these here, yeah, I would have liked if they could have
folded away, but it is what it is, and I can live with it because I can't change it now, can I? But going around there, very G1 looking cab there, which I do like a lot. I'm a G1 fan, so yeah, seeing the G1 aesthetics being brought back and used again, winner for me, always. So there is some nice details there, and on the top there is a little bit of color mismatching. So this red here is different to this red on his shoulder pads, and actually at the front here as well, this red here is different to this red here. They are two completely different shades there. Why they done that, I don't know. It looks like this was painted and this is just red plastic. A choice was made. Was it the right one? Not necessarily, but what can we do? Anyway, getting down to, oh, and he does also have trailer hitch right here on the soles of his feet. But for the way this transforms, they had to put it somewhere, so. And it does also help to keep the legs stuck together when he's in vehicle mode. So getting down to transformation, first thing you want to do is detach the trailer hitch, because you can see it tabs in right there with that slot right there. And then fold the gas tanks in, and they will have this tab here that will go into that slot right there. So do that on both sides. Next, what I do, next what I do is I forget steps. So they are important to always remember that. Remember the steps. Because if you don't, you just end up breaking your toys. And that's not a good thing. There we go. So you have to, what I found is that if you put your finger just right in here in that cavity and pull down, that will help to loosen the legs, because they are tabbed in by his shoulders here. I'll show that off now in just a moment. So next thing, before you bring it, don't pull it down all the way, by the way. Do not pull down all the way. What you have to do next is detach the wheels on both sides, which will free up the bottom part of the bumper and lower part of the grille. Bring that up and then just swing these back, just like that. Now, once you have that done, you'll see that this hinge here is freed up, so you can now bring all this down and it will soft tube into place. So go about separating the legs. And then what I find helps is when you bring the foot forward, if you look from the back, it will start rotating this piece around. So just bring the foot down as far as it will go, angle it back up again, and then use your thumb pressing here to spin it around the rest of the way, so that this ends up at the front. So rinse and repeat on the other side. It can be a little stiff to get moving sometimes, but there you go. Once it's done, it will look just like that. So now, can you rotate? No, not yet. So now what I do is, now these panels can be undone. So just untab it and fold it back like that. So it goes from this tab here onto this tab right here. Rinse and repeat on the other side. And it's tabbed in like that. Then you want to just bring his forearms down like so, and bring them out to the side, just like that. At this point now, because everything's out of the way and we're in the home stretch, you can take the arms, just bring them out as far as they'll go for now, and rotate the upper torso all the way around so that's oriented exactly like that. So now just bring the arms down all the way, and you have his fist is folded up just like this for transformation. So just fold that down, bring that forward, get this shoulder panel piece, bring it out to the side just like that, and you have this double hinge here, so bring it all the way to the back and then fold it back in on itself, where you will have this tiny tab here that will go into, don't know how well you can see it, but there is a slot right there. Again, I don't know how well you can see it, but it is there. And we'll just tab into place just like that, so it sits flush. And that's how one arm is, and that's how the arms should look. So rinse and repeat on the other side. So again, bring the arm down, fold the fist out, try to keep the figure in shot. That's a very important step actually. And then again, get that shoulder piece, bring it back, fold it in, and tab it into place. And then for the last piece of transformation, you press down on this panel here, which will in turn lift up the roof. You grab the roof, you keep turning it around. It's on a double hinge. And then once it gets to this point, you want to get your finger on that middle point and just, before you push it down all the way, just give it a little tug. It may help if you bring the head up. What's supposed to happen, and it happened the first couple of times I transformed this, is that when the head comes up, the chest is supposed to open up, but that doesn't happen anymore. But the chest is supposed to open like that. If it doesn't, just open it manually yourself. And then that is the main line, Rise of the Beast, Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And for accessories with this guy, he only comes with one, his blaster. And unlike the Reactivate Prime, this one has no problem holding onto his blaster. In fact, this one, the blaster is a bit harder to get into his fist. But there you have it. And it looks amazing, in my opinion. I think this Prime looks absolutely amazing. So get a quick look on the head sculpt there. So it does a very focus camera. Focus. Focus. There we are. So that is a very, very Prime looking head sculpt. And actually, this is what I was talking about with the Reactivate Prime. Very reminiscent head sculpt. Movie head sculpt on the Reactivate Prime. Looks just like this one here. Nice detail on the chest. Mechanical details in the abdomen here. Now this is all grey plastic. There's no silver on him except for here. And these window pieces are transparent plastic, so be wary of that, because that means that over time these can and will fall apart on you. So transform them a couple of times, pick which mode you want them in, and leave them in it, because if you keep messing with these will break and fall off. So you've been warned. Look at the side there now. Now this here, I'm not a big fan of how these are just jutting out like that. I think they could have engineered it in such a way where these panels folded away. They've done it before on other Primes, so why they couldn't do it with this one, I don't know. But it is what it is. It's not a deal breaker. It's still a figure that I like, and I think is one of the good Primes. Not one of the better Primes, but definitely one of the good Primes. So it's back. It is kibble-tastic, I'm not gonna lie, but you don't display them facing the wall, do you? You display them face on. Now very quickly going over articulation. So the head is not on a ball joint, it's just on a swivel. However, this panel here that his head is on, if you want, you could make use of that to give him up and down or downward looking motion, if you so wish. But it does do a full 360. It is very, very stiff on mine. The arms can also do a full 360. They can go out that far, and because of the way the shoulder pads are molded, there is a natural cutout there, and even the shoulder pads can move themselves. He does have a bicep rotation. That is for transformation, but he's meant to have it anyway. He has nice deep elbow bend, and his Wrists are on ball joints, so you can get them again for transformation to go in, or you can do a full 360 if you wish. Waist wise, let's see, he only goes that far for waist rotation, so it's not the best, but at least he has something there. And for hips, he can go forward that far, he can go back that far. He does have thigh rotation, and his legs can go out that far, more or less a full splits. Even has this skirt piece here that moves out of the way. Knee joint just over 90 degrees. His feet can go back, they can go forward, and he does have ankle tiltage in both directions, so he has really good range of motion there. So like for posability, he is definitely one of the better figures. Should you pick him up? If you like affordable movie primes, especially from the latest movies, definitely. If you have the Studio Series, it's up to you, but I personally think this one is better in vehicle mode than Studio Series. He's nearly as good as Studio Series in robot mode. Studio Series one definitely looks a lot better, but still, in my opinion, a worthwhile figure. Now, we're down to our last two, so let's move on. And here we are, our second last figure of this very, very long review. Well, not so much review, more of a look, in-depth look at each figure. Here we have the Legacy United animated universe Optimus Prime, and as soon as I seen this figure, I was like, hell yeah, I want to get that. Hell yeah. He does look just like the animated Optimus Prime. I was about to say movie. He does look just like the animated Optimus Prime. Modernized, yes. Updated, I guess you could say that. But still, very, very nice figure all around. So taking a quick look at the vehicle mode. So you have that Transformers animated style fire truck front here. And again, still sticking or to the remnants or the callbacks to the G1 Prime. You have the cab over truck, the flat nose, the dual windows. Now he does have a slightly different color scheme here, whereas Prime has always been yellow, blue and silver. They've brought black in with him, and it's actually nicely done, I have to admit. The details on it are really good. Like, they're subtle, but they're not so subtle to make him look like he's just a flat piece of plastic. The only thing I don't like about the vehicle mode is this here, the way his feet are done. Could they have found a better way to do his feet? I think so, but for what it is, I think they've done a decent enough job. Like, it's not a deal killer whatsoever. Like, it does not ruin my enjoyment of this figure whatsoever. Especially when you're looking at it from the front, you can barely even notice that they're there. From the sides, there you can kind of see them, but again, they're not too egregious. So you have the lights on the top here, not picked out, but you have the headlights here that are picked out in yellow. On the bottom there, it's very little to give away that this is a robot in disguise. So all his robot mode parts, with the exception of these, are hidden away quite nicely. So getting into robot mode, first thing you want to do is just unpeg the feet. They have two tabs that go into two ports just there. Come underneath, and then you will see actually there is a kind of like a T tab right here. Don't know how well you can see that, but there's a T tab right there. So you just want to untab that and then come to the top or the base of the cab and just wiggle them out just like that. They are soft tabbed in, but it can feel like sometimes that they're just jammed in there. They're not. So then once you have them out, you want to just bring it down. You have this tab that will go into that port. Just bring it around, tap it in just like that. Bring the other half of his shin around and tap it in just like that. Then you want to get his foot, bring it back, bring it forward, so you have this nub that will go into this cutout here. And there you go, Lego done. Second verse just like the first. Sorry, Go, it just came out. It just came out. So just rotate it around. Now it can be a little stiff, a little finicky, but once you get it all lined up, it does all fall into place. Don't know if you heard that baby cry there. My neighbors just came home. So for the cap section, what I do, I come up to the roof and just get your nails underneath this seam here, and you want to just lift it back slightly, just like that, just to loosen things up. And then you can bring it down just like that on that hinge right there. Once you have that done, you want to come to the front of the truck mode, just bring that down just like that, which will of course expose his head. You then, trying to remember this. So once you have the front panel down, come to here and you want to bend it at this hinge right here. So just bend it forward just like that. Rotate it at this hinge so that everything is facing the right direction. You then take, I'm doing something wrong here. 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, everything up to this point is correct. What I was doing wrong was that I forgot this step. I'm only human, I make mistakes, but once you get to everything like this, you want to come up here to where his arms are and just bend them right here at this point. It will resist a little bit, but don't worry. There you go. So you just fold it in, get that out of the way so you can see. Bring it in just like that, which will then in turn allow you to open this piece out, and you can then rotate this all down to the side. And once you have everything down, just leave it like that for now. Move on to the other side. So same thing again, rotate it inwards towards his head to disengage the lock, which will then allow you to bring that panel up, which will then allow you to bring all this down, at which point you can finish bringing down the chest just like this. And these tabs with the wheels, you will actually see, hold on, try and show this off here. There are these tabs right here that when you fold the chest down, they're actually going to go into these notches on the inside the wheel well that you pull down. So bring that down, you'll feel a soft tube, and then just tab those wheels into those notches there just like that. You want to then get his chest, rotate it at this hinge while bringing it down. That will just, you'll have these holes here that are to soft friction click, I guess, over these notches on the sides of his neck. Just push them into place there just like that. Get this light bar and just fold it down like that, and then bring it all the way down. You'll have these two tabs that will go into these, I don't know how well that's coming across, that will go into these notches right there. You just tab all that in just like that, and there you go. And then for the final touches, just bring his arm up, rotate it around, separate there, just like that. Do the same thing on the other side, bring his arm up, rotate it around so that's like that, separate, and then for the final touch, come to this blue panel inside his forearm, open it up, flip his hand out, close it up, rinse and repeat on the other side. And there you have the animated Optimus Prime with his loose knees, very loose knees for some reason. Why is that all of a sudden a thing? They weren't loose before. In his robot mode. And yeah, I have to admit that is actually a very, very good update of the animated Optimus Prime. I do like that very much. So taking a quick look at the details. So there you have his head, nicely detailed there. Definitely animated Optimus look. His chest, abdomen, nice detail on the arms. Very bulky arms, so this dude looks like he's been working out a lot. Nice detail there on the legs. Now, again, I'm not a fan of how the wheels are now on both sides of his shins, but it is what it is. Very clean transformation. Like, there's hardly any kibble hanging off of this guy. Now, he does have a bit of hollowness on the backs of his arms. Doesn't bother me. Again, because I don't display my figures with their facing the wall. Just like Emgo and just like any other Transformers collector. Like, that guy just looks imposing. He really does. Even just standing there, he looks, he grabs your attention. They've done a phenomenal job with him. Now, the only accessory that he comes with is, of course, his Energon axe. So this itself is Bluetooth compatible. It's the only thing he has that's Bluetooth compatible. And right here. So you get your Bluetooth, tap it in like that, and he can do a rocket-powered axe swing at anybody who comes his way. The handle itself does extend out a fair bit. Now, he is supposed to be able to do dual hold this, whatever the term is. So show off quickly, just holding it one-handed. He can hold that, and he can hold that quite securely, and even that there just looks imposing. But he can, in theory, dual wield. I'm just going to say, I know it's not the right term, but I'm just going to say dual wield this. Now, there's a little finicky to get in, because on the handle itself you have the thin part here, thick part there, thin and then thick at the top where his fist is. So yeah, he can actually get a good solid grip on the handle of the axe. So like I said, he is supposed to be able to dual wield this, but it can be a little finicky to do. It's doable, don't get me wrong, it is definitely doable, but I haven't found a way to successfully pull it off. Or have I? Am I just about to? There we go. Suppose that would do there. But there is a way where you could get him to hold it so that he has a proper grip with both hands on it. But still, that just looks imposing, brilliant. It really does. But anyway, that's been animated Optimus Prime, and it is time now to get on to the big show itself. The last Prime of my collection so far, and probably the most impressive one thus far. Oh God, this is killing my back. But I do this for the love of it. I do this for the love of Transformers. And so yous can all have a decent look anyway. But here we are at long last. The crown jewel of my Optimus Prime collection so far. I emphasize so far because right now he is the single best Optimus Prime figure that I own. That's until the Studio Series 86 Commander class Optimus Prime comes out, and I cannot wait to get that. Oh, I'm actually excited for it. I really am. But this one, oh, the instant I seen this, I knew I was going to be getting this. Now, full disclosure, I got this from Smith's Toys. And I had to get 2 of them. The first one that I got was misassembled. And apparently this was an issue that a few people had, not with Smith's, but with the manufacturing process of this figure. Basically, what happened was that his arms, he was given 2 right arms or 2 left arms. And you wouldn't really notice while he was in truck or robot mode, but as soon as you went to go into combine mode, things just didn't line up. These, I'll go into more detail when we get to combine mode, but you would notice straight away that something wasn't sitting right because these smokestacks, guns, weren't lining up right. I'll go into more detail about that when we get into combine mode. But while we have them in hand, we'll have a quick look at the truck mode here itself. And the truck mode, what can I say? It is Armada Optimus Prime. Every detail is just spot on. It looks amazing. Underneath there, like, it's what would you expect? Now, the truck bed itself is a bit long, but when you have the trailer on, as you've seen, you don't really notice it that much. But standalone, it is a bit long. Now, is that a deal killer? No, not at all. Like, if they ever released just this figure by itself without the trailer, I still probably would have bought this. No, not probably. I still would have bought this. It is just amazing. It's so faithful to the on-screen model. So just quick look there. You have his combine mode fists right there. I wish they put some sort of panel here to hide them, but however, it's nowhere near deal killer for me. Nice detailing on the front of the truck. The only thing I don't like about this is this bit up here. Now, this, while it does, you can hear it there, loop into place, it is still fairly loose. I'm barely putting any effort into that there, and you can see it's moving. So I generally just leave it there like that all the time. Makes hardly any difference. Going on to the trailer. Oh boy, the trailer. The trailer is massive. There is legit weight to this. It really does. Now, I'm not a big fan of the back. I'm not gonna lie. I wish this cleaned up a little bit better, but it is what it is. And again, not a deal breaker for me. I know some people will complain about this, but you know, it has to transform, and when it transforms, they have to go somewhere. So I can forgive that easily. But yeah, very faithful to how he looked in the cartoon, even down to the treads. Now, the treads themselves don't roll, they're solid plastic, but I do like how they have the wheels pinned in here, making it look like it would actually turn, but no, you have these rolling wheels right here. And if you have, I've seen a few reviewers do this with this figure, where they're like, he has no trailer stand. He does, and it's right here. You fold this out, and you fold this out, and look, lo and behold, the trailer stands, doesn't topple over at all. I like that, I do. But quick, just closer look at some of the detail on this. And the gun, this is optional placement for the gun. I just put it there to get it out of the way, but if you don't want it there, you don't have to put it there. Completely up to you. Underneath, and at the front there, missile rack right here. But yeah, very, very nice. So, might as well use the trailer stand. For robot mode, actually we'll get this out of frame for now, just so it's not interfering with the focus on my camera. Going into Prime's base or core robot mode is actually pretty straightforward. It's simple, but it does it, and it does it well. So first thing you want to do is come to these wheels here. They're tabbed in right there, so you just want to slightly pull the plastic out to disconnect it from that notch there. Rotate around and you'll have this little tab right here that will go into this slot right there. So rotate that around again, just flex ever so slightly, and it will just thump into place. Rinse and repeat on the other side, just like that. Then you want to just, at the knees here, just bend them down ever so slightly so that you'll free up. Oh, and you also want to untab these side panels here, just like that. And now these panels here will be freed up. And to get his feet transformed, you just open up this panel here, flip out the toe, close that panel down, and rinse and repeat on the other side. Once you have that done, you can then just split the legs, and there you have the legs all done. For the upper part of the body, what you want to do first is actually come to the front of the truck, and you have this panel and this panel here on either side of the grille. So you just want to get your fingernail under here just to lift it up so that it comes away like that. Bring it out to the side and rest it exactly like that there. Rinse and repeat on the other side. It's on a double hinge, so it'll move quite easily. Once you have that done, you want to get your nail into this slot here. Just pull that away just like that. Raise it up, bring this whole lot forward, exposing his head. Fold it back while pushing it down, and just push it all together. It will snap into place just like that. And you come to the forearms, just untab them from the sides of the cab, which at arm's length on camera is a little difficult to do. Just bend them at the elbow so that they're oriented properly. And then to finish off his transformation, you just want to wiggle these pieces on either side of his head out to the sides. Well, now again, I don't know how well you can see this on camera, but there is a double hinge right in there just beside his head. So you want to bring them out and down just like that, and rinse and repeat on the other side. And just wiggle them out and down till they're in place just like that. And there you have Optimus Prime base figure or core figure in his robot mode. Let's raise the camera up a bit there. And yeah, with the exception of a few paint details, this guy looks exactly how he did in the Armada cartoon. He is just phenomenal. I know I'm saying that a lot, and yes, I'm a bit of an Optimus Prime fanboy, as you may have guessed. But going in on that head sculpt there, yeah, nice yellow eyes there. Very reminiscent of how he looked in the Armada cartoon. nice silver for his chest. Black highlights there on either side. And for legs that looked so long, this is a weird thing. Legs that looked so long, like ridiculously long when he was in truck mode. They look a bit stumpy here. Now, that's not a complaint whatsoever. That's nearly like mass shifting without doing anything. It's mad how that works. They looked like the legs looked like they were like about this long when he was in truck mode, but then they shrink down to this size when he's in robot mode. But the proportions are just spot on. So just going to the arms here, nice gold on the forearm here, silver for his wrist mounted blasters. Now again, this part, when it just keeps getting loose. Now it's not falling off, not at all. It doesn't tab in super securely, but that's, again, it's not a deal breaker. You do have his combined mode or super mode fists hanging out back there, but all in all, he is just looking fantastic. Now he does come with 2 accessories for this mode. One of them is at the moment buried away in his trailer, his cannon or his gun. I'll show that off when we get into combine mode, but he does also come with the matrix, and it is removable. And this was a unique design matrix. It is a bit hard to get out. It is tabbed in there quite securely. So a quick close look up on it there. It is very nicely done. Very reminiscent of the Armada cartoon. And it's done all in transparent plastic, just with gold paint over the front there, nothing on the back. But I don't know how well it's coming across on the camera. You can't really tell from the front, but from the back, you could tell that it has a bit of a diamond design to the shape of the jewel. But still, very nice. And just tabs in there, just like that. Now, going for articulation on this guy, he is loaded. He is loaded with articulation. So to start off, the head is on a ball joint, so he can look up that far, he can look down that far, and he does get the side to side. And because it's a ball joint, the head does do a full 360. His arms can do a full 360. They can go out that far, and he has actually 2 joints here. You're seeing this one come into play. Now, this is just a transformation joint, but if you want to get a bit extra range of movement, you can use that. But they only go that far. He doesn't have any... Oh, he does. Sorry. I didn't even know, because I never actually thought there was something here. It does have bicep rotation. Elbow joint. It is a double elbow joint, so he gets nice deep bend, and because of transformation, it can go both ways. He does have wrist rotation, but because of the way the arm is molded, like, it does cover his hand on 2 sides, but you can get wrist rotation there. You could get full 360. Just be careful that you don't rotate his hand to an area where you can't get at it. He doesn't have any waist rotation, but that's mainly because of transformation. Legs on a nice ratchet can go forward and that far. They can go back. If you move this panel out of the way, they can go back that far, so nice range there. They can go out to the side almost to the full splits, but this skirt piece does get in the way, especially with the tires here. And he does have 90 degrees knee bend there as well. For his feet, the toes can go down, they can go up, and he does have lots ankle breakage amount of tilt. So yeah, this guy is very posable. The only thing I will say is just be careful when you're posing them, because sometimes these panels here can move and get stuck out of the way. Oh, me back. I'm getting old, what can I say? So yeah, that's Prime's core robot mode, or base robot mode. Now, speaking of bases, his trailer does have a base mode, but just for the purpose of this video, I am not going to go into the base mode on the trailer. If you want me to do a full separate review of this figure, let me know, and then I'll go into all the features and modes that this toy has. But without any further ado, we'll get this guy off to the side and we will go into Optimus Prime's super mode. So to start off, get the trailer, rotate the trailer stands right back into position. You then want to just come down here, or is it? Nope. Sorry. Open these side panels first. Now, let me see. Back in a sec. Okay, sorry about that. So, once you have these side panels out, come to the front, just lift these panels here that were on either side of the gun, so they were there just like that. Just open them up, and then come to these panels, open these up. You're just getting stuff out of the way for now, and then come to here. Now this will be tabbed in very securely against these gold pieces. I'll show you where now in a sec. So you just want to give it a good wiggle. There you go, and this will start to come down. So you have these two tabs. Oh wait, there we are. These two tabs that were tabbed into these two slots right there, and it is a very, very secure connection. That's why I thought I was doing something wrong, because they were solid in there. But anyway, just get this bit, rotate that forward, and then come to the top. So here, just want to start wiggling things apart, just like that. Bring one leg out to the side. At this point you can remove his gun, which on that tab is just tabbed in. Again, don't know how well you can see it. Hold on, I'll get the other leg open and I'll show you exactly where that was tabbed in. So get that leg out of the way. So yeah, this gun was tabbed in right here, just like that, and it is a secure connection. It really is. So from this point, I was hoping the camera would let me zoom out a bit more, but no, it is what it is. So anyway, from here, you want to get this right here, and first, before you move it in, get this trailer stand out like that. Just bring it forward for now, and then on this double hinge here, rotate it in so that it lines up just like that. You get this piece, bring it out to the side for now, bring that up, tap that into place, and bring this panel down to the side just like that, and then you get the foot, bring that out, and that'll fall down just like that. And so repeat on the other side. So get this out and bring this in just like that, tap that up in there, bring this piece out like that, and this foot down and the panel down just like that. Oh, and the panels, you will have this tab right here, that tab there, that will go into this slot right here, like that on both sides. So next, what you want to do, as I try to remember how to do this, all right, hold on, I need to raise the camera up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. This piece of the trailer here, you want to rotate that around exactly like that. You'll hear it soft click into place, and you'll have this red piece. Just bring that out like that, all the way, exactly like that there. Then, once you have all that done, rotate this top section all the way around. Now bring this down. We'll get to that in a second. Just lay it down there for now. Get it out of the way. Rotate all this around so that's oriented just like that. Get his skirt piece, bring it forward. Rotate this around and then bring this down the rest of the way. When you have that done, you have this piece right here, which you will want to just bring forward just like that, and these side panels can just rest against the sides of his legs. We'll get to this piece now in just a second, but that is basically most of the lower half of Optimus Prime's super mode fully transformed. So moving on to Optimus Prime himself, what we do here is first you start going back into truck mode. So you want to bring those shoulder joints. You know, his head is not lined up right, but bring his shoulder joint, or this side pieces that his shoulders are connected to, right up again beside his head. You then take this piece here, just fold it out like that, leave it like that for now. Bring his arms out to the side, just leave him there like that for now. Come around to his feet. You want to lift this tab up, fold his foot down like that, rotate the wrist, or is it? No, sorry, fold his foot up, rotate the fist around, close this tab up, and once the fist is rotated around, then you fold the foot up like that. So rinse and repeat on the other side. Fold the foot up, rotate it around, close that panel, and then fold the foot up just like that. You then want to split him at his waist, but the legs won't come out this way. At this piece right here, you want to start rotating. So just lift this entire thing up. Once you, I know you bring this down, but then lift this entire piece up, split the legs, and then rotate out to the side like that on a nice, thick, heavy hinge. And then with the combined mode head, just bring it up. It'll help if I do it on camera. Now, just to let you know, because of the way all this is done, you will have to flex ever so slightly to get the head out beyond those grey pieces. Ever so slightly, but you do still have to flex. And again, I know people aren't a big fan of flexing their plastic, but it is a necessary evil. So just bring his arms down a bit, and all these here, you'll tab all these into place. So we're almost there. Okay, next, just come back here, fold this back up. This is going to be the connection point to lock him into his trailer in combined mode. Okay, so once you have that done, rotate these panels, these pieces here, just like that. Now, just get to this quickly. Remember I was saying at the start how there was an issue with this figure where several people, well, more than several people, had their Prime misassembled. This was the part where you found out how badly he was misassembled. So once you get to this point, you want to rotate the arms in just like that, and then you want to bring the arm down at this hinge. You want to bring it back like that and then up like that. So do again on the other side. You want to bring the arm, sorry, try and do it so that you can see what's happening. Focus camera. So you want to bring it back on this hinge here and then bring it up like that. The problem was that when it got to this point, as you can see, the arm is supposed to tab in here. So you have that tab there, which goes into that slot right there. One side tabbed in, no problem. But when you got to tab in the other side, all this was here. It was oriented the wrong way around because it wasn't so much the arms were misassembled. The arms had the right parts, but it was the joint that was wrong. They used 2 right arm joints where the elbows are. So in order for the transformation to work, you had to rotate it around so that this was on this side, and it wouldn't work unless you removed these altogether. But that just ruined the figure for me. Now, luckily, the second one I got had the correct assembly, so it wasn't a problem, and as you can tell. So anyway, just tab that in, try and find exactly where that notch is. There you go, just like that. And there you have the transformation so far. You should have something that looks like this. Now to connect Prime to his trailer, this is where it gets finicky. It's doable, but it can get extremely finicky. So this thing here, you want to load that into this cavity right here. But the problem is, even though you have these tabs, there is no actual guidance rail on this guy that those tabs will make use of. But what you have to do is this bottom piece of the tab has to go into this bottom piece here, and you line everything up, see what I mean? This is the part of the combination that I just do not like. If you don't get that sweet spot first try, then you have to take everything out and do it all again and just try and line it up as best as you can. And while doing that, be careful of this, because if that opens up like this, then it's not working. So yeah, it is something that is extremely finicky. It can be extremely frustrating. And at times just does not want to work for you, like now. Bear with me a second, go and do this off camera. Boom. Okay, that took a lot more effort than I remember, but it is what it is. Anyway, raise the camera up, because he is getting tall now. So the problem is just the lining up. Now you can kind of see in there how everything's to line up, and it should just drop straight down, but it doesn't always. It can be finicky, it can be temperamental. So it's just finding that sweet spot to get it. Now what I found worked is, and I'm going to regret this so much, now you can kind of see it there, how it's just lifting straight out. But what I found is when I'm putting in, if I put my finger on the grill, and I should, yeah, I know I was going to regret this. See, it should just drop right in. There we are, just like that. There we go, okay. But yeah, that's supposed to be how it goes. Now, once you're at this point, you want to, now you could do this one of two ways. Like these parts here, again, I've seen reviewers where they left these parts out. They're not supposed to be out. They're supposed to be in. But anyway, you have down here these clips, and they will clip in here. Now, actually, more to the point, in here, in these parts right there. Now, when you're going back into base robot mode, to disengage it, you have these buttons on either side, and when you press them, as you can see there, those clips retract. But just bring it down. So like I said, there's one of two ways. You can just bring it down, clip it in, and I've seen people leaving their Prime transformed like that. No, that's one way, yes, but no, that's not the official conversion. What you're supposed to do is bring these pieces back in. Remember what I said, it's like you're going back into truck mode. So you bring those pieces back in just like that, and then you can clip it down. So if they come undone, just push them up. You get this piece here, just push that right up against his belly. And again, come to the home stretch now, the final parts. So this red panel here, you just bring it down. You have, again, I'm trying to get a good angle on it. Don't know how well you can see it all. But you have these tabs here that will go into these slots here. Just bring it down, tab that into place. If this comes undone, just push it back in. Orient the arms. And with this piece here, I did say I'll come to it. Just bring that down, rotate it, sorry, not rotate it, just bring that up just like that and have a rest in there, just like that. Does it look the best? No. But it is what you're meant to do. And for the final touches, of course, what is Optimus Prime in super mode without his super ears? And there you go. Optimus Prime super mode. Legacy United Armada Universe. And Jesus H. Christ, this guy. I know I said that the animated universe Prime was imposing. This one is imposing. Just look at that. And of course he can, and I did say, show off his blaster. And just to show you, the blaster itself is, of course, Blush compatible. And actually, I didn't show it off, but the wrist mounted blasters in his base modes, they are Blush compatible as well as this missile rack here, that is also Blush compatible. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, the guns there when he's in base mode. So again, if I do a full review of this guy, I will show off his base modes. I just don't see the point of it, so I didn't go into in this look at the figures. But those two guns here are Blush compatible. But yeah, this guy, I'll give him his gun, is just, I would not want to cross him in any way, shape, manner or form. He is just phenomenal. So quick look at the head sculpt there. Nice striking gold eyes. Love the gold paint on this guy. Gold paint on his shoulder pads, gold hands, silver in the forearms. Nice silver paint apps there on his abdomen. Autobot symbol front and center where it should be. Gold on his crotch plate and on his kneecaps. All round, this figure is just amazing. Now, yes, he has a massive backpack, but his trailer can only go so far. And this honestly does not bother me, because if you think about it, the base form of Optimus Prime had that skirt going on, so this is just a continuation. But he is amazing, just straight up amazing. So going into articulation, get his gun out of his hand because it is important. Going into articulation, his head again on a ball joint, so you can get some up and down and side to side, and of course he can do a full 360 there. His arms are still 360 at the shoulder. They can go out that far. A lovely ratchet, bicep swivel, and nice tight, and I mean tight ratchets at the elbow that bends to 90 degrees. His hands, he has articulated hands. So his hands can open and close just like that. Now, unlike the Commander Jetfire, this port stays there all the time, regardless whether his hand is open or closed. His hands can rotate at the wrist, but of course, doing it one-handed, it's a bit hard to show off properly. He doesn't have anything at the waist, but that's not surprising considering how he combines. His legs, if you get his skirt out of the way, they can go forward that far. If you move this back panel out of the way, they can go back that far, so decent range of motion there. They can go out to the side, the full splits and then some. He does have thigh rotation. He has a nice, very stiff, solid knee bend up to 90 degrees. His feet, his toes can't go down, but they can move up. His heels can go down though, if that's any use to you. And he does have full ankle breakage level of tilt. Now obviously if you go beyond a certain point, it breaks the illusion, but they did mold this piece in here so that once you're at a certain point, it's still filled in and looks complete. So yeah, they really did go all out on this guy. They really did. And sorry, just bear with me because I realized from a previous transformation I had his leg oriented the wrong way at the hip. I'm only human. But this is seriously a solid, and I mean a solid, Optimus Prime figure. If you come across this guy, I know the Studio Series Commander Class 86 Prime is coming out, but if you come across this figure, do yourself a favor and pick it up. He is, without a doubt, the best Optimus Prime of my collection. Now, I love every single one of my Optimus Prime figures, but this one is by far the crown jewel for now. That all depends as to what's going to be, what 86 Studio Series Prime is like. And I already know I'm going to love that figure so much. But anyway, this has been my look at a partial review of my entire Optimus Prime collection. If there is any figure that you want me to do a full review on, leave a comment in this comment section below. Let me know. And if you like this video or any of my other content, please hit the like, share and subscribe buttons. And with, I'm getting tongue tied now, I've been talking for so long. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for taking the time out to watch. I know it's been a long ass video, so you sitting through this really does mean a lot to me. I appreciate it so much. So this is the modern nerd saying, remember, being a nerd is the right of all sentient beings. You didn't really think I was going to end the video without the size comparisons, did you? Well, here you have it. All my primes in order of size. Going from the Hybrid Convoy, Gamer Edition, Rise of the Beasts, Animated, Earthrise, Siege, Reactivate, Laser Prime. I know it's Scourge, but I'm calling them by their original names. MPO1, Revenge of the Fallen, and the Armada. That is how they compare with each other. So when you look at this little guy like this, now you don't want to you don't want to mess with him. He'll bring his brothers with him. Every single one. Every single one. So no, you don't want to mess with this guy at all. Because if you mess with him, you mess with his entire family. This time I am gone. Peace out.